Welcome to the farm on another wet, rainy day for our very first pineapple harvest. And as you can see, there's a whole heap of pineapples all lined up the road already as we arrived. The guys started really early in the morning, so we missed a lot of the initial harvesting, and we just got here to take the video. There's a few carabao just having a rest, and you can see just to my right there is the trail where they're bringing the pineapples up, and you'll see them come up in a minute. And there's the little cart they hook up to the carabao, and that's what they bring all the pineapples up. Most of them are down fairly low. And here we go. Here's our det. This is actually the carabao you'll see in most of our videos. It actually lives around the farm, on the farm. And it's the star of most of my earlier videos. As you can see, there's another huge pile of pineapples over here. It's all done manually. They take the cart down, load them up, and bring them up and unload them and keep going. It's a very manual job, but there's really no other way of doing it because most of the pineapples are down in the valley, and it's quite a steep way down. You actually can't take any vehicles or anything down there. This is the only way to get down. And here we go on the way up. Take note of the track they're coming up. It's a bit of grass, a little bit of mud, probably very slippery, but just take note of, look at it now, and I'll show you later. Up they come. These carabao, they're so strong. I've said before, they're very well trained, and they are so strong coming up. It's quite a steep way up there. I actually went down there probably a week ago, and you struggle to walk up. It really is that steep, and especially when it's this wet and slippery. They've done a pretty good job. And here we come up, all full of pineapples. And they're doing this all day. Oh, not all day, they finished early in the afternoon. But they started very early in the morning. So there's number one coming up through. Up and over, and then once they get up on the level ground, they just go for it. Yeah, nice and easy. These carabao, they love the mud. They love nothing more than sitting around the mud all day, mud and down the river. Here's number two, and yes, that young lad there, he's controlling the carabao for the day. And he's number three, up, nice and strong. There's actually 6 carabao working on this day. All of this, the base of the process is through an agent, we contact a buyer, and the buyer handles everything. So we basically turn up here and do nothing. The buyer organises everything, pays everybody. We do nothing in the process except watch and collect the money at the end of the day. Here they are down the valley, packing it up. The haulers here, they actually count into their bins there. And then everything's counted later again, and then the counts are matched up. So it's all done fairly efficiently. Like I said, this was our first harvest, so we really didn't know what to expect or what we're going to see. So it's all a learning curve. This is our first harvest, so we've learnt quite a bit about pineapples and growing pineapples in the last 15 months or so. And we'll take those learnings and the lessons we've learnt into our next crop that we will plant very shortly. And as you can see, like I said, these guys they work so hard. Rain, hail, we don't get any hail, but rain, sunshine, they're working. Because when it rains, they have to keep going. That's part of the harvest that doesn't stop. They've got to keep collecting, or they'll be there literally all day. can see, a little while later, the heavens opened up, and as you can hear on our newly constructed roof, we're all in their half-built house, out of the rain, and I just you can't quite. Most of them are down picking, filling up their crates, but as you can see through here, there's one unloading in the rain. They just don't stop. Yep, there he goes, unloading in the rain. We actually had a huge crew. There's basically a crew of about 10 with the harvesting. When they come up here, they sort them into sizes. Sizes are good, okay, and small. We get paid by the sizing, and basically all our job is to just keep an eye on, make sure they're consistent with their sizing. It's all done by hand and eye in terms of sorting them out. Truck arrives, they count them into baskets, and in the truck they're all hand stacked in the truck. The truck is stacked to the brim. It's already been at one farm down the road, so it's already got 15,000 pineapples in there already, and we're going to put another 20,000 in there now. So as you can see, these guys are sorting, the guys are still hauling, so it's all happening. And look at the trail. I told you to look at it earlier. Look at the trail now. It's quite a bit worn, and we've got one carabao struggling to come up the hill. I really don't know how they did it, honestly, because we tried to walk down here the day after, and we couldn't walk down this track here. It was too slippery, too wet, too muddy. We actually walked down another one, and I fell over a few times and ended up covered in mud. It's all good fun. But yeah, up it come. This was our guy had a bit of struggle. He carabao didn't want to come up. As you can see, when a lot of the carabao come up through, they've got mud on their noses, because their noses are their head are literally driven into the ground because it's so steep and slippery. They're sinking into the ground. I don't know how they all got walked up here. Like I said, I couldn't do it, but then again, there's a lot of things I can't do that these guys have done all their lives, and it's just second nature. They're so good. They're really so good. Most of the guys that help us around the farm. And we'd never seen this guy before. Don't know where this carabao come from, but like I said, the buyer arranges all of that. So for us, it's quite easy. We just turn up and collect the money and watch them sort and count, and yeah, so it's really no big deal for us. But certainly a lot of lessons we've learnt growing our first ever crop here on the farm, and we want to greatly increase the crop size. So it was a good starter crop size for us. And there's our house, which is, as you can see, it's looking a lot like a house. This was about a week and a half ago, this harvest. I said nothing stops in the rain, everything keeps going. Old man keeps coming up the hill, and yep, carabao's working his way up the hill. These guys get paid by the piece, so depending on how many pineapples they bring up, that's how much they get paid. They get paid basically a peso for every 2 pineapples that they bring up from the valley up to the road. So it's in their interest to keep things moving. But it's actually not a bad payday for them. So they get paid reasonably well for the day's work that they do. But like I said, they do work very, very hard. And I certainly would not trade places for them, and I will never have to, which is good. We don't own a carabao, so it's really, this would be the only thing the carabao did is mainly for the harvesting of the pineapples and of course the coconuts. Other than that, we've really no real need for a carabao at this stage, unless we start to do more further down the property, in which case, yeah, maybe we'll look at getting a carabao. They're quite expensive to buy, but they do live quite a long life. And we've got the river down there, which they love to sit round in the river when they're not working. You can't work them all the time. And here we go, someone riding their carabao on the way back down the mountain. They really are quite a versatile animal, and like I said, so very, very strong. In terms of the finances of the pineapple harvest, I won't go into details on this one. Needless to say, we learnt a lot of lessons, and next time we'll definitely improve. But it's in terms of what we received for our harvest, we received more than the average worker would receive for a whole year's worth of work. But in terms of our plant selection, our plant placement, all those kind of things, we've learnt quite a bit over the 15 months, and we'll definitely be able to improve quite a bit on those for our next harvest. Here we go. So it's still coming up the hill. Like I said, I would not like to trade places with this guy. Carabao just didn't really want to move very quickly, but he eventually gets up there. The carabao gets up there. Here they are counting into the baskets, thrown into the back of the truck, and like I said, individually placed in the back of the truck to get the maximum amount in there. They take the truck to Manila, sell the pineapples to Manila directly. But like I said, none of that is any of our concern. We are only concerned with getting a price per piece, price per pineapple at this stage, and everything else is organised by the buyer. So like I said, nice and easy for us. Long day for everyone involved, and like I said, it's all really quite wet. And it's like I said, still unloading while they're packing the truck. There's still unloading more coming up from the valley. So as you can see, that was still a reasonably small harvest, and see how much of the road they took up. So imagine when we will probably hopefully get up to 6 times that amount, and then see how we go. And the guys are actually working in the rain now because we've got the roof on the house. So all looks good. And like I said, it gave us plenty of shelter. But things never stop on the farm, and the day after this pineapple harvest, at it again because we had coconut harvest. That's every 2 months we do a coconut harvest. Things never sleep on the farm.